Altcoin season is upon us. The Fed is on the verge of cutting rates, and when that moment comes, it won't just be another headline. It will unleash a tidal wave of money across the markets. Stocks will move, commodities will shift, but at the very center of this perfect storm is crypto. Polymarket is showing an 87% chance of rate cuts, which may have happened by the time you're seeing this video. But regardless of if it's this month or later in Q4, when the Fed does cut rates, it changes everything. Think about it. Money gets cheaper, borrowing becomes easier, debt feels lighter, and suddenly there's more liquidity moving around. And when that happens, investors don't just let their money sit idle. They start looking for returns. So when rates drop, bonds and savings accounts stop looking as attractive. The yields disappear, and that forces capital to rotate into risk assets. First is stocks, but eventually it always makes its way to crypto. Look, history may not always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. That's why I believe the 2025 to 2026 bull run won't just be another cycle. Rate cuts are going to light the spark, because crypto isn't just another risk asset anymore. It's becoming the risk on asset. It's where capital flows when people are chasing growth, chasing upside, and chasing the future. And if the Fed has to go beyond the rate cuts, if they start printing again, injecting liquidity through quantitative easing, then things can go really parabolic. Now, we're not just talking about Bitcoin pushing new highs, we're talking about altcoins exploding, new narratives forming, and life-changing opportunities being created in real time. That's why in this video, I'm going to break it all down. What's up, guys? It's Ron. If you've been watching my last few videos, then you already know that I talked about an altcoin that was at 19 million market cap and shot up to over 280 million market cap since then. And it's now being called the Pepe of Solana. And if you got into it, you would be up around 15x since that video. I'm currently up multiple six figures on Troll. And if any of you got in on it, congratulations to you. Now, I'm still holding. So hopefully this doesn't become a round trip story, but I say all that to say this. I put my money where my mouth is because I truly believe that altcoin season is coming and I'm actively preparing for it. In this video, I'm revealing my exact game plan for the 2025 to 2026 crypto bull run, or some of you know it as altcoin season, and why staying locked in can mean the difference between watching others win or winning yourself. Here's what we're going to be talking about in this video. First, where are we in the crypto cycle compared to previous cycles? Now, this part is really important because crypto moves in repeating patterns. By zooming out and comparing today's market to past bull runs, 2013, 2017, 2021, we can see exactly where we stand. So understanding the cycle gives us a roadmap so we don't get lost in that daily noise. Then we're going to talk about the 4 phases that lead to alt season. Look, everyone loves alt season. It's where explosive gains happen, but alt season doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It follows a sequence of phases. And by knowing these 4 phases, they help us predict when it's time to rotate, so we can maximize profits instead of round tripping. Then we'll go over my personal strategies for positioning for this upcoming bull run. This is where I'll break down exactly how I'm preparing and what percentage of my portfolio is in BTC, altcoins, and memes, and how I'm managing my risk. Then we'll talk about some of the altcoins that I'm in right now. This part is always highly requested. I'll walk through a handful of projects I'm holding, why I believe in them, and how I see it playing out in 2025, 2026. Whether it's the layer ones, AI, meme coins, or DeFi protocols. Then we'll talk about my exit strategy so I'm not left holding the bag. This is arguably the most important part. I've seen many people round trip life-changing gains and watch it disappear because they did not have a plan. So we need an exit plan. Quick disclaimer, none of this is financial advice, and hey, this video took a ton of work to put together. So if you find value here, do me a solid and just hit that like button. It helps more than you know, and it tells the algorithm that you enjoy content like this. All right, stay locked in because you don't want to miss this. Let's start by looking at where we are in the crypto cycle compared to the previous ones. I want to first look at the macro level, so we need to look at what the Fed is doing with the rate cuts. As of recording this video, Polymarket is showing an 87% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut this month, and about a 48% chance of 3 cuts this year. This is important to know because historically rate cuts inject liquidity into the system. And in crypto, that liquidity doesn't just stay in Bitcoin. It eventually flows into altcoins. That flow flow of money is what kicks off alt season. If we cross-check this with FedWatch, the numbers line up. There's about a 92% chance of a cut this month and 75 to 80% chance of additional cuts in the coming months. This rate cut may or may not have happened by the time you're watching this. Now, if we jump into total 3 minus USDT BTC pair, we can see that we're approaching the same lower range that we hit in the previous cycles just before altcoins exploded. It appears that right now we still have to drop a bit more, and in September, it's usually a red month. It's also known as September sell-off. Now, zooming out to the Bitcoin dominance chart on the weekly time frame, in the past cycles, BTC dominance has peaked at near 73% before reversing. When that reversal happens, the liquidity leaves Bitcoin and floods into altcoins. If history rhymes, we should expect dominance to top out at around the same level again before it drops, triggering the next alt season. That's why I'm closely tracking these charts. They help me time when we're near the bottom for alts, and it also gives me the signals for when I may want to start taking profits. Now, there are 4 phases when it comes to alt season that I'm watching, and it looks something like this. Now, you may have seen this image before on X or YouTube or even on my channel, but stick with me as it's important because it really gives you the roadmap of what may happen. Let me break down the path to alt season the way I look at it. Phase 1, Bitcoin. It always starts with Bitcoin. New money comes into the market and piles into BTC first, which is why you see those big price surges. Bitcoin usually has to lead the way before anything else can run. Then we go to phase 2, Ethereum. Once Bitcoin slows down a bit, money starts moving into Ethereum. This is when ETH begins to outperform BTC and people start talking about the flippening. I've seen this happen in every cycle. Ethereum takes its turn in the spotlight. Then we move to phase 3, large caps. After that, the big altcoins start running. Coins like Solana, Sui, Cardano, Avalanche, the ones with the bigger market caps and stronger fundamentals usually see some of the biggest moves here. Then we have phase 4, alt season. Finally, we hit what everyone calls alt season. By this point, the large caps have already gone crazy and the money starts flowing into mid caps and even small caps. This is when you see coins doing the 5, 10, or even 100x within just weeks. It feels like everything is pumping, and honestly, that's the part when things kind of get dangerous too, because it's usually at the late stage of the cycle. Now, this brings me to what my personal goals and strategies are for positioning myself for this upcoming bull run to lock in millions. For me, it's not about spreading myself too thin across dozens of coins. I believe in running a smaller portfolio with a larger allocation and higher conviction. From my own experience and from conversations with people who've made far more than me in this space, the common thread is clear. The biggest winners were built on high conviction plays held with patience. That's why I've restructured my portfolio with a clear split. 40% in Bitcoin and ETH as my foundation, 30% in strong altcoins, and about 30% in my highest conviction meme coin plays. I'm leaning heavier into memes this cycle because I believe that we're heading into a full-blown meme coin super cycle where projects with massive mindshare and potentially even IP rights could run harder than anything else in the market. At the end of the day, I know building real wealth in crypto takes conviction, discipline, and a solid strategy. This is the way I'm positioning myself to make millions this alt season. Now, a huge part of making those millions this altcoin season is being in the right coins. So I'll go over a handful of altcoins that I'm invested in right now and talk about why I'm in them. First, let's talk about SCI. SCI is built as a high-performance layer 1 blockchain designed specifically for trading. The key here is speed and efficiency. It's made to handle trading volumes at scale, something most blockchains still struggle with. If SCI can deliver on this, it has the potential to become the backbone of exchanges and DeFi apps, which could drive mainstream adoption from traders and developers. We also just recently found out that SCI has now integrated with Chainlink's data streams, letting it pull in trusted real-world data directly onto its blockchain. This upgrade makes SCI more powerful and attractive for large-scale institutional use cases, boosting its credibility as a serious layer 1. It's currently at 33 cents and an all-time high around $1. Its total market cap is around 2 billion, but I can see this doing a 5x from here. Next, we have Aave. Aave is one of the biggest players in the decentralized finance space. It's basically a global money market that lets people borrow and lend crypto without needing banks. What makes Aave powerful is that it works with multiple chains and continues to innovate, like with their push into real-world assets. If DeFi keeps growing, and I believe it will, Aave is positioned to be one of those leaders that sees the long-term adoption from both the retail and the institutions. It's currently around $300 with the all-time high of around $650. It's a bit pricier than the others on this list, but I can see it running the cycle. Probably only worth getting into this if you're longing or if you have enough capital to buy a decent spot position. Next, we have Chainlink. Chainlink is already one of the most important infrastructure projects in crypto. It's what connects blockchains to real-world data through oracles. Without Chainlink, DeFi and smart contracts wouldn't function the way that they do today. As traditional finance starts to integrate with blockchain, the demand for secure, reliable feeds will only grow. That's why Link has real-world utility and massive adoption potential beyond just crypto natives. I'm sure you all know Chainlink, but it's currently at $24 and has a potential to be a major runner this cycle due to its ability to deliver trusted real-world data to blockchains. And so we are betting on adoption, which they are already doing. Next, we have Pump. Look, Pump is a huge revenue generator. I'm betting on memes to run this cycle, so I think Pump will align as well. Pump is all about onboarding the next wave of users into crypto through meme coins. The platform makes it easy for anyone to create and launch a token with just a few clicks. And so why does this matter? Well, because crypto adoption has always been driven by culture and speculation just as much as technology. Meme coins get attention, and it also brings in retail investors and just creates these viral moments. What makes Pump stand out even more right now is their new streaming feature. Instead of just launching a token all at once, like a physical pre-sale, Pump actually allows tokens to be released over time on a streaming format. Currently, it sits around 2 billion market cap. I think Pump can realistically 5x from here. And the meme coin that I'm betting most on that is on Pump Fund is Troll on Sol. Troll has just secured IP rights for the troll face meme. As a longtime troll holder on Solana, seeing the team secure IP rights was the moment when I think we all realized that Troll is now the undisputed meme coin on chain. It will now sit with Pangu and all the other meme coins with IP rights, and this will make new retail investors want to buy into this because it's essentially safer, but it isn't priced in yet, which means that there's a lot more upside here when altcoin season arrives. Most meme coins fade because they have no protection, no brand, no staying power, but Troll is the father of memes. Locking down IP on the troll face and the lore is a game changer. Copycats and knockoffs can't dilute Troll anymore. The team can legally shut them down, protecting the brand and our bags. And it's not just defense, it's offense. IP rights unlock real-world utility, official merch, licensed NFTs, gaming partnerships, and we are now safer for major exchanges. In bull markets, this kind of foundation is what separates regular plays to life-changing wins. Troll isn't just a ticker, it's a movement. With the IP locked in, this feels like the start of Troll evolving into a blue-chip meme coin, exactly where it belongs, to sit at the head of the table amongst the top tier memes. My bags are already up, but I see long-term vision on this, and honestly, if you're not in, you're sleeping on it. Trolls forever. If you have watched the past videos on here, you can actually see me call this live and 19 million market cap and say it's $1 billion meme coin. And I've been in Troll since April, and I have held since. So the Troll meme coin will play a part in my plan to make millions. It's currently at 18 cents, but I can easily see it 10x from here, with 10 billion market cap or higher not being out of reach. I wanted to shout out these next memes because their community is on top of it. When I posted my video, the 7 meme coins that can make you a millionaire in the next 3 to 6 months, they really showed up in the comments. Those memes are Toshi, Turbo, and WikiCat. The fact that they're so bullish outside of crypto Twitter and showing up the way that they are is super bullish because meme coins is only as strong as its holders. So those meme coins are worth looking into as well. For me, having a solid exit strategy is just as important as choosing the right altcoins. I set clear profit targets with multiple tiers so that I can take partial profits along the way while letting the rest run if the coin keeps going up. I always know how much of my portfolio I'm willing to risk, and I follow each project closely. I'll run you through 3 scenarios that you can consider, and I'll explain each. First, you have your conservative take profit strategy. It looks something like this. You first sell 50% at your take profit 1, 30% at your take profit 2, and then 20% or the rest at take profit 3. With this strategy, you lock in half your position as soon as your first profit target hits. From there, you keep scaling out, but with smaller amounts. This is good because it's the safest approach. By selling 50% early, you can secure a large chunk of gains and remove a lot of risk right away. Even if the coin reverses after your take profit 1, you've already made serious profit. So this is really great for people that want to protect their capital and avoid stress. They really don't have as much risk tolerance. Next, we have a balanced take profit strategy. This is where you sell 30% at your take profit 1 1, 40% at take profit 2, and 30% at take profit 3. Now this is for anyone who wants to scale out more evenly across each target. You take some profits early, more as that trade matures, and still leave a decent amount in for that big move. This is a good strategy because it's balanced risk reward. You don't sell too much too soon, but you're also not gambling everything on the final target. It's a middle ground for people who want safety but still want to capture that big upside if the coin runs further. And then you have aggressive take profit strategy. That's selling 20% at take profit 1, 30% at take profit 2, and about 50% for the remaining at take profit 3. What it means is that you only take small profits at first, maybe your initials, and hold most of your position for later, bigger targets. The largest sell is reserved for that take profit 3. This can be good because you'll maximize your gains if that coin keeps pumping. You're betting on conviction and letting that trade run. It's riskier because if the coin reverses before reaching those targets, you've locked in less profit, but if it moves, this strategy pays the biggest. For me, I vary my strategy based on the coin and conviction. Most importantly, I stay disciplined and avoid chasing every green candle because the real winners are the ones who stick to their plan and lock in those gains instead of getting stuck holding the bag. If you want me to provide an Excel sheet where you can track your positions and list your sell areas so that you can scale out, drop a comment below. My plan to make millions this altcoin season comes down to a combination of everything that we just covered. The altcoins we mentioned, some are solid, safer plays with strong fundamentals, and some are high risk, high reward that could 10x when the market takes off. Together, watching the Fed cut rates, following the money, being in the right altcoin projects, and scaling out with profits locked in will give you the highest odds of making life-changing money this upcoming alt season. The real winners in this cycle won't be reacting to FOMO or chasing pumps. They'll be the ones positioned early in the right narratives and playing with size and conviction. Go through this strategy, figure out which ones fit your goal. Start building out your game plan. When altcoin season hits, things are gonna move really fast. Do me a solid and subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your favorite altcoin that you're most excited about in the comments, and I'll respond to as many as I can. Let's make this alt season count. Watch the video here if you're interested in some of the meme coins that could run the cycle. I'll see you in the comments. Thanks for watching.